This is your year of ownership. No more waiting, no more blaming, no more looking for someone else to take responsibility for your future. 2025 is the year you step into full control of your life, your dreams, and your decisions. It's easy to fall into the mindset of waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to notice you, waiting for circumstances to improve before you take action. But here's the truth: nothing changes until you decide to change it. Ownership means recognizing that your success, your growth, and your happiness are all in your hands. It's not in the hands of your boss, your family, your friends, or the economy. It's in yours. Too often, people give away their power without even realizing it. They blame their past, their upbringing, or the challenges they've faced. But they say, I didn't have the right support, or I wasn't given the same opportunities as others. While those things may be true, they do not define your future. What defines your future is your willingness to take full responsibility for where you are and where you're going. Ownership means refusing to be a victim of circumstances and instead becoming the architect of your own life. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, every leader, every high achiever, they all have one thing in common. They took ownership of their journey. They didn't wait for things to be perfect. They didn't wait for someone to hand them an opportunity. They created their own. They understood that life doesn't owe them anything, but they owe it to themselves to pursue greatness. Ownership means taking control of your mindset. The way you think determines the way you act. If you constantly tell yourself that things are too hard, that success is for other people, that you're not capable enough, then you will always stay stuck. But when you shift your mindset and start saying, I am responsible for my success, everything changes. You stop making excuses, you stop waiting, you start moving forward with confidence. There are two types of people in this world: those who react to life and those who create their life. The ones who react are always at the mercy of their environment. If things go wrong, they shut down. If they face obstacles, they give up. But the ones who create their life take ownership no matter what comes their way. They understand that setbacks are temporary, that failure is part of growth, and that they have the power to turn things around. They don't waste time complaining about what they can't control. They focus on what they can control. You can control your effort. You can control your discipline. You can control your attitude. You can control your habits. You can control how you respond to adversity. These are the things that determine success, not luck, not circumstances, not what anyone else says or does. The moment you take full responsibility for these things is the moment you start winning in life. Ownership also means letting go of excuses. It's easy to say, I don't have time, or I don't have the right resources, or I've tried before and it didn't work, but every excuse you hold on to is just a reason to stay where you are. If you want to change your life, you have to change your excuses into action. Instead of saying, I don't have time, start making time. Instead of saying, I don't have the resources, start using what you do have. Instead of saying it didn't work before, start asking, how can I make it work this time? There is so much power in taking ownership because it puts you in control. It means that no matter what life throws at you, you get to decide how you respond. If something isn't working, you have the power to change it. If you're not where you want to be, you have the ability to move forward. Nothing is stopping you but the limits you set for yourself. This year is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating the moment. It's about stepping up, taking action, and owning everything in your life: the successes, the failures, the lessons, the growth. Because when you do that, nothing can stop you. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. The mind is a battlefield, and the thoughts you allow to take root will determine the course of your life. Too often, people live below their potential, not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't capable, but because they believe the wrong things about themselves. They've been conditioned to think small, to settle for less, to accept that certain dreams are out of reach. But in reality, the only thing keeping them from their best life is the belief that they can't have it. It's amazing how powerful the mind is. The way you see yourself shapes your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your results. If you believe you're not smart enough, you'll never step into opportunities that challenge you. If you believe you're not worthy of success, you'll sabotage yourself every time you get close to it. If you believe that life is unfair and you can't change your circumstances, you'll stay stuck exactly where you are. But the moment you shift those beliefs, everything changes. The moment you tell yourself, I am capable, I am deserving, I am strong enough, you unlock a new level of confidence, determination, and progress. Many of these limiting beliefs come from past experiences. Maybe you grew up in an environment where people spoke negatively about success. Maybe you were told you weren't good enough, that you'd never make it, that people like you don't achieve big things. Maybe you failed in the past and now you assume that failure is just part of who you are. But none of that is true. Just because you've believed something for years doesn't mean it's right. Just because someone else spoke negativity over your life doesn't mean you have to accept it. Just because you've faced setbacks doesn't mean you're destined to stay there. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant and nurture will grow. If you feed it thoughts of fear, doubt, and limitation, that's what will take root. But if you start planting seeds of confidence, belief, and possibility, you'll see a completely different reality. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing what you focus on. When you choose to focus on what's possible instead of what's impossible, when you choose to see solutions instead of obstacles, you take control of your future. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they have to wait for external proof before they can believe in themselves. They think, I'll believe I'm successful when I actually succeed. I'll believe I'm good enough when someone else recognizes me. But that's backward. You don't wait for success to believe in yourself. You believe in yourself first, and that belief leads to success. The people who break through in life aren't necessarily the most talented, the most gifted, or the most privileged. They're the ones who believe they can and refuse to give up until they make it happen. Breaking free from limiting beliefs requires intentional action. It's not something that happens overnight. You have to actively replace old thoughts with new ones. When doubt creeps in and says, you're not smart enough, you have to counter it with, I am intelligent and I can learn anything I need to succeed. When fear whispers you're gonna fail again, you have to declare, even if I fail, I will get back up and keep moving forward. The more you do this, the more those old limiting beliefs start to lose their power. It's also important to be mindful of who you're listening to. If you surround yourself with people who are always negative, always playing it safe, always doubting what's possible, that energy will rub off on you. But when you get around people who think big, who take action, who refuse to let fear dictate their lives, you'll start to adopt that mindset too. You have to remind yourself daily that you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not what people have said about you. You are what you choose to believe, and when you start believing in your ability, your worth, and your potential, doors will begin to open that you never imagined possible. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story and you'll change your life. Run your own race. In a world filled with distractions, competition, and constant comparisons, it's easy to lose sight of your own journey. Everywhere you look, there's someone doing something bigger, moving faster, achieving more. Or at least it seems that way. Social media, conversations, and even casual observations can make you feel like you're behind. But the truth is, you are not in competition with anyone else. Your journey is yours alone. And the moment you stop looking at what everyone else is doing and start focusing on your own path, you step into real progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make is measuring their success against someone else's timeline. They see a friend getting promoted, a colleague starting a business, or a stranger on the internet living what looks like the perfect life, and suddenly doubt creeps in. Why am I not there yet? What am I doing wrong? Have I wasted my time? But what they fail to realize is that every person is running a different race with a different starting point, different obstacles, and a different destination. You can't compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 10. You don't know what they've been through, what sacrifices they've made, or what struggles they've had to overcome. There's a reason racehorses wear blinders. If they constantly look to the side, they would get distracted, slow down, and possibly even trip. The same applies to life. The more time you spend watching what others are doing, the less energy you have to focus on your own progress. Comparison steals joy. It shifts your focus from what's working in your life to what's missing. It creates unnecessary pressure, making you chase after things that might not even be meant for you. But when you put on your blinders and commit to your own path, you free yourself from that burden. You stop feeling like you're falling behind because you realize you're exactly where you need to be. Running your own race means embracing your own pace. Some people achieve success quickly while others take years to get there. Neither is right or wrong, it's just different. The world glorifies speed, but speed is not the same as progress. What good is rushing if you're heading in the wrong direction? Some of the greatest achievements in history didn't happen overnight. They took years of hard work, setbacks, and persistence. The foundation you're building today may not be visible yet, but that doesn't mean it's not strong. You have to trust that your time will come, and it will come at the perfect moment. A big part of running your own race is knowing what you truly want. Too often, people chase after goals that aren't even theirs. They pursue careers, lifestyles, or achievements simply because they see others doing it, not because it aligns with their own passion or purpose. They climb a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. True fulfillment comes from knowing what matters to you, not what impresses others. When you define success on your own terms, you stop feeling the need to prove anything to anyone. Obstacles are inevitable, but they are part of your unique journey. Just because someone else seems to have it easier doesn't mean they haven't faced their own struggles. Every person has challenges, insecurities, and battles they don't always show. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is persistence. Those who keep going despite the setbacks, despite the detours, are the ones who reach their goals. Your struggles are not proof that you're failing, they're proof that you're growing. The difficulties you face are shaping you, preparing you, and strengthening you for what's ahead. Running your own race requires patience and trust. The path won't always be clear, and progress won't always be obvious. There will be moments when you feel like you're stuck, like you're moving too slowly, like nothing is happening. But just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean you're not moving forward. Growth happens in the unseen moments, in the quiet persistence, in the daily effort that no one applauds. Keep going, keep building, and keep believing in the timing of your life. You are not in a race against anyone else. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Keep your eyes on your own path, trust your own timing, and stay committed to what you are building. What's meant for you will never pass you by, and as long as you keep moving forward, you will get exactly where you're supposed to be. Discipline over motivation. This is the key that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck in the cycle of inconsistency. Too often, people wait to feel motivated before they take action. They wait for inspiration to strike, for the perfect moment, for that rush of excitement that makes everything feel effortless. But motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. It's unreliable. Some days you wake up feeling energized, ready to take on the world. Other days you wake up tired, uninspired, and completely unmotivated. And if you rely on motivation alone, Those days will derail your progress every single time. Discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. It's what makes you get up and go to the gym even when you don't feel like it. It's what makes you sit down and work on your goals even when distractions are calling your name. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The truth is, if you only take action when you feel like it, you will never get to where you want to be. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who are constantly motivated. They are the ones who have built habits of discipline that allow them to push forward no matter how they feel. There's a common misconception that motivation is the starting point of success. People think that once they feel motivated, then they will take action, and once they take action, they will see results. But in reality, it works the other way around. Action creates momentum, and momentum leads to motivation. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you'll spend most of your time stuck in a cycle of procrastination and frustration. But if you take action, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard, you build momentum. And once you build momentum, motivation follows. The key to discipline is routine. You don't wake up every morning and ask yourself if you feel like brushing your teeth. You just do it because it's a habit. You don't debate whether or not to show up to work. You just go because it's a responsibility. The same principle applies to your goals. The more you integrate discipline into your daily life, the less you have to rely on fleeting motivation. If you commit to waking up early and working on your dream every single day, it stops being a choice and starts being a part of who you are. There will always be excuses to quit. There will always be reasons to take a break, to push things to tomorrow, to justify skipping the hard work. Life is full of distractions, and if you allow yourself to be controlled by how you feel in the moment, those distractions will always win. But when you develop the mindset of discipline, excuses no longer have power over you. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop allowing temporary discomfort to dictate your long-term success. Discipline is about commitment. It's about making a decision once and sticking to it, regardless of how you feel later. When you commit to something, you don't give yourself an option to back out. You remove feelings from the equation. You wake up and follow through because that's what you said you would do. Every time you push past the resistance, every time you show up, even when it's inconvenient, you strengthen that muscle of discipline, and the stronger it gets, the easier it becomes. It's important to understand that discipline is not about perfection. You will have days where you fall short. You will have moments when you slip up. But discipline means that instead of letting those moments turn into patterns, you bounce back quickly. You don't let one bad day turn into a bad week, or a bad week turn into a bad month. You acknowledge it, adjust, and get right back on track. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that successful people never fail. It's that they refuse to let failure stop them. The best part about discipline is that once you build it, it carries over into every area of your life. When you learn to be disciplined in your work, you become more disciplined in your health. When you develop discipline in your health, you become more disciplined in your relationships. It all connects. The ability to show up, stay consistent, and do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Motivation is good, but discipline is better, because when motivation fades, and it always does, discipline is what will keep you moving forward. Faith and action go hand in hand. Too often, people sit back and wait, hoping and praying for a breakthrough, believing that if they just have enough faith, things will change. They say, I know things will get better. I know the opportunity will come, or I know one day my dream will happen. And while faith is powerful, faith alone is not enough. Faith without action is just wishful thinking. Real faith moves. Real faith takes steps. Real faith doesn't just wait for opportunities, it creates them. There's a difference between waiting on something and preparing for something. Many people say they are waiting on a blessing, but they are doing nothing to get ready for it. They want a new job but aren't improving their skills. They want a healthier life but aren't changing their habits. They want financial increase but aren't managing what they have. If you truly believe that something is coming, your actions should reflect that belief. You don't wait for the door to open before you start preparing. You get ready now so that when the opportunity comes, you are already in position to step into it. Faith is believing that something is possible. Action is doing what it takes to make it happen. When the two come together, that's when miracles take place. That's when things start shifting in your favor. But too many people fall into one of two extremes. Some people have faith but take no action. They have big dreams, big prayers, big hopes, but they don't move. They don't apply. They don't invest. They don't step out in courage. They expect things to just happen on their own. On the other hand, some people take action but have no faith. They work hard, they push forward, they do all the right things. But deep down, they don't actually believe it's going to happen for them. They expect failure. They doubt their own worthiness. They keep striving, but they never see results because they've already convinced themselves it won't work. Both are necessary. Faith without action leads to stagnation. Action without faith leads to burnout. But when you put them together, when you move forward with both belief and effort, you activate something powerful. You start to see doors open that you never expected. You start to meet the right people at the right time. You start to notice things falling into place that you couldn't have orchestrated on your own. Not because you were just waiting, but because you were moving. Faith is not passive. It requires stepping out before you see the full picture. Sometimes that means taking risks. It means applying for the job even if you don't feel qualified. It means starting the business even if you don't have all the resources yet. It means speaking up, showing up, and putting yourself out there even when it's uncomfortable. The moment you take that step, you send a message that says, I believe this is for me. And when you do that, you create momentum. Think about a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't just sit in his house praying for a harvest. He goes out, tills the soil, plants the seeds, waters them, and cares for them even before he sees anything growing. He doesn't question whether the seeds will sprout. He knows that if he does his part, the harvest will come. That's how faith works. You don't just hope for success. You plant the seeds through your actions, trusting that in time, you will see the results. It's not enough to believe in a better future. You have to walk toward it. You have to take the first step, even if it's small. Some people get stuck because they think they need all the answers before they start. They want guarantees. They want to see the whole staircase before they take the first step. But faith doesn't work like that. Sometimes you have to step out before you see how things will come together. You have to start even when you don't feel ready. You have to take action even when the outcome isn't clear. There will be challenges. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is working, but faith means trusting the process. It means continuing to show up, continuing to work, continuing to push forward, even when you don't see immediate results. And the truth is, the moment you align your faith with your action, things start moving, the right people show up, the right doors open, the things you were waiting for start coming to you, not because you just hoped for them, but because you prepared for them. Faith and action are a partnership. You can't have one without the other. When you truly believe that something is meant for you, your actions should match that belief. Every step you take, no matter how small, is proof that you trust in what's possible. And when you live that way, when you walk in both faith and action, you set yourself up for more than you could have ever imagined. You owe it to yourself to rise higher, to break free from limiting beliefs, to take ownership of your life, and to step into the greatness that is already within you. This is your year to stop waiting, stop doubting, and stop holding back. Run your own race, stay disciplined, and trust that as you take action, doors will begin to open. Faith and action go hand in hand. Believe in what's possible, but also move toward it with unwavering determination. Your future is not something that happens to you. It's something you create with every choice you make. Keep going, keep growing, and watch how everything begins to shift in your favor.